Boo! All right, we're just gonna switch. Oh my gosh. Well, in this last downtime, and hello again, Andy. Let me run that for you. I went and into the NVIDIA app. I usually run and install the NVIDIA Studio driver, not the game driver. And I noticed it was a game driver that got installed the last time. I don't remember doing that. I'm usually particular about the studio driver because I don't game. I don't know what much of a difference there is. So I rolled back to the previous studio driver. So we will see. There is a new studio driver, but we'll see. I can stream for another half hour or so and test it. Oh, my head. Oh. We'll just stress it out. Oh, get good music, man. There is no. This is I'm on Windows. There is no studio or game driver. It's just a driver. I don't think you have a choice on Linux. All right. But here I'll let's get play some music. And hopefully ads aren't infecting or affecting anybody else. But all right, let's go to desktop right. And here's the NVIDIA app. So this makes it really easy in Windows to install the drivers. So right now, if I go down here, which is really nice, um, wait a minute, what the hell just happened? I installed, I went to previous installed, but now it's still saying the GeForce game driver is installed. What? I went here and I did reinstall, new details. No, game I did a reinstall of the studio driver. This game driver should not be installed because you have your choice here up here, and it might have defaulted. Fixes that stuff for the game, but I want the studio driver. Which might not have a whole lot. I'm glad your GPU is in the kernel because you got AMD. Does Andy have AMD? We'll see what happens. And then maybe when I'm done, I'll install it. But if we look at um, so the NVIDIA GeForce 59186 driver that was released in January was supposedly causing black screen system freezes and application crashes. Oops. I didn't like that flicker. But here on Reddit, NVIDIA app launches its drivers 59186 update causes black screens and stability issues. So which is this one that says it's installed, but I guess why is it not showing which one is properly installed? Ay, ay, ay. Boy, talk about taking wind out of the sail, you know? What the hell am I listening? It's the NVIDIA app. When there's no sale, your efforts are useless. There's no wind. When there's no wind for your sail. So it's a 59186 that's supposedly causing the problems, and that's the recent January 27th. Going previously, and this is the one that just came out, the 59636. Let's see what it says about that. Well, I did. I rolled back to the 7.1, but it still shows the game driver as being installed. So maybe after I get done streaming here, I'll go and install that. But on the Linux side, I don't know. So let's see. See, does Mm-mm-mm. Here we go. Okay, so all right, it's showing the 59186 installed. Which is a GeForce driver. So why didn't it reinstall this? Well, we do. The difference between the two. Oh, changing while streaming? Oh, I don't think I'm going to attempt that, Andy. Let's see. The studio driver prioritizes stability and reliability for creative applications, offering fewer updates. Game drivers prioritize performance and day one optimization for new games. That's the difference. So I don't know why it installed like that for me. Oh boy. Well, we'll see. If it happens again, it'll be later. I'll catch you guys later. But it's funny, like the whole the desktop just disappears. It goes blank screen. But I'll still hear the music, the YouTube music going. The chat will still be crossing back and forth on my setup up here. So everything is still working, but then OBS stops because probably it's not in focus, right? Uh, why can't I just be, I should just post a thing. Fix it, dudes. I don't know what's going on, bruh. Hey, bruh. Oh. Hmm. Ow! Happy Sunday. Well, I made sure that I reinstalled it, but it stayed out of the game driver. So is that I got an issue? But we'll see. Maybe I'll update. Um, Once I'm done, I'll update the new studio driver. We'll see what happens if that's a fix. But then on Linux, so on Linux it could be again the NVIDIA driver. It seems like in Linux every other major NVIDIA update causes an issue, and have to roll back. Well, like I said, it's was much easier to roll back in Pop OS on Ubuntu than it is in Whoa, excuse me, than it is an Arch because um, so in Endeavor OS, oops, wrong button. No, it's a 4060. I have a 4060. I could not afford a 50. Hey, Penguin. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. My shout outs are working. My auto shout outs are working. So I've just tried to stream. The first stream, what Andy was over an hour and a half, and then things went south after that. But to downgrade, it scared the crap out of you. So what I wanted to do was start auto shouting out those that come. So I greet everybody that comes into the stream one way or another. So if you're a streamer now, you will get, or a content creator, you will get a shout out that will direct someone to your channel. And on Twitch and YouTube, and I've been working at that. So here's to got to run downgrade NVIDIA DKMS, NVIDIA utilities, NVIDIA settings, open NVIDIA, blah 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 blah. And then you go through and you start selecting the previous drivers in Arch. Well, I get to the point where NVIDIA DKMS, and it's not showing the current version. So on Arch, I'm on the 591 driver, but it's showing the 580 DK. I'm like, I get lost with that. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do anything right now. This WHQL should be it. What do you, so I'm starting to, I like Endeavor. I like what I'm learning on Arch and all that, but it's really not being stable. So this WHQL should be it. Um, and now let's look up current. So Penguin, you came in after several crashes. I've got Windows and Linux doing the exact same thing. Desktop disappearing. Yeah, the desktop will just disappear. And it's probably an NVIDIA issue, but I'm on Windows right now. Today I stream on Windows, but it's doing the same thing that Linux did to me on Wednesday. Just the GNOME desktop just disappears. The computer's still running, and here on Windows, OBS stopped streaming, but yet everything else was still working. I was hearing my music, and the chats were going back and forth, and all that other stuff was working. Yeah, I'm on Endeavor OS for my Linux setup. I am a little bit afraid to roll back the driver. There's several steps that what is it? It was just here. But when I got to the point where I could select it's relatively easy to go through and start selecting your previous drivers in that, right? But now also with Endeavor, you're also looking at the kernel, right? The DKMS update, and it wasn't giving me the current DKMS, NVIDIA DKMS, and it's like I don't know, and it wouldn't go further with the downgrade. It was I mean in Linux it's like every other big driver on Nvidia fucks up really bad, and it's usually easier. I mean, I had it happen to me majorly twice in pop 2204, and I was able to reinstall the current driver. Is easier on Ubuntu based than it is on. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look at this is ridiculous. But the same exact thing between Linux and Windows. There's no difference. The desktop disappears and things stop working. And why am I listening to this crap? I don't. I need to find some classic rock summer. There we go. Ah, we were going so good, but why both? It's just like the same exact thing. So probably Nvidia, but probably maybe OBS too. Now you just explain why you don't use Arch and why you use Ubuntu. Yeah, I am not. I really really liked Pop OS after leaving Peppermint and what happened with Mark and all that. I really liked Pop OS, but now they went to the Cosmic Desktop, and now it's fully Wayland, it's fully Rust, and it fully OBS does not work right at all. I don't want to use Ubuntu. I don't. I'm not kind of a Snap guy, but I want to. I'm mostly flat packs. But Ubuntu has the closest to Windows install with OBS. Yep, the new desktop is just. I think it will be something in about 5 years. It's going to take a while, but it's a combo with Rust, Wayland, and NVIDIA. And if I was moving these docks around in Pop Cosmic, if I pulled this dock out and let go of it, I couldn't redock it. I literally had to go through. I couldn't move docks around. And then docks like that come up with the advanced scene switcher or down key streamer. You could not dock those in Pop Cosmic. And these are not custom browser docks. We're talking about something different. We're talking about internal, and these should be dockable. Well, it's not beta anymore. I'm sure it's still beta, but it's not beta anymore. It's a full release now. I like the idea of God, but but Pop was, it was just so working so well. So I don't know what I really want to do. I mean, it is not a struggle. It's a different step to get, and the way it works between the AUR version of OBS. Flatpak's just, no, forget about the Flatpak OBS. Forget about it. It just does not do the job. Out of my 31 Linux plugins, I can only get 15 that are in a Flatpak. That's half my plugins gone. I don't want to do that. I want what I want. So then the only really other official is an Ubuntu base with the PPA from OBS. No, it's supposed to be a live version. It's not beta. It's not supposed to be beta. And I had been testing it since Alpha 6. But the moment they released it completely, it's not ready. They're constantly doing updates and that. It's a shame. But I like my GNOME desktop. I like it a lot. So I'm not particularly a fan of Zorin. I think Zorin is a reconstituted Pop OS kind of. But they use the old Ubuntu installer, and it doesn't work on every system. Like a kid in a candy shop. Yeah. Flatpak OBS restricts you. There's a security warning for it. I have not seen anything about that. There was something that was posted the other day. Not a security warning. But you look, I mentioned it earlier. So I mentioned it earlier about the OBS team, and on Windows, OBS is just one thing. On Linux, it's many. You either are on Ubuntu and the PPA, or you do a Flatpak, or you do it from the repository, which is a half-assed OBS to begin with. Then you got all the different window managers, all the different portals, all the different stuff. And how those people keep up with running OBS on Linux is a guess. So as much as I like the Endeavor and all that, I will give Zorin a try again. And only Zorin because of being GNOME. I don't know if I want to go with Ubuntu flat out. Because it would be my streaming setup. OBS Flatpak uses an older runtime pack. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I can't do music players, and I can't do a lot of stuff in the Flatpak. And you've seen my setup, right? So I don't have a plain setup. And now majority of the plugins that are created for Windows are being packaged for Linux. Usually the Ubuntu packages, right? The .debs or the zips. So I know. So I have 34 plugins here on Windows, and I have 31 on Linux. But the whole idea is to stream with stability to it. And I knew I was kind of taking a chance with Arch. even Endeavor. But I was up for the challenge. I've done some pretty good building there with my voice controls and things like that. So, and it's just a lot of and then if the plugin gets updated on the OBS plugin site, they don't always get updated in the AUR right away, and you got to reach out to that developer that guy that packaged it for the AUR. Get more devices, try more distros. Oh, I pulled out another. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SSDs here. Make it 5. I forgot. This was a nice Crucial, and the thing here broke. I should just throw. I got to destroy that one. But my thing is just I'm just a streamer. You even use the AUR on Ubuntu these days because what you're using Docker or whatever, or you're using Botox, whatever it is. Ow! Oh, but I just don't understand the same problems on both Windows and Linux. I don't. But the only tie-in is NVIDIA. But I can't I can get an AMD card, but I can't do fun stuff like background removal. I have to stick with a freaking grease string. Distro box. There you go. Distro Botox. Bah, fun stuff. I mean, this was the whole purpose of me getting a 4060 is so I can use background removal. If I can do this. So Andy can do this. So I can do this without having to use a green screen. Just have my background. Now I'm stressing. I'm going to see what happens here. And I'll tell you, OBS on Windows does run better. CPU and GPU usage on Linux, even on Endeavor, is higher. It just delayed. You can do background removal. I didn't think they had that on your AMD. I guess I can always use. So now there's StreamFog. Well, StreamFog is the old Snapchat replacement where you can do faces and all that stuff. They actually have it for Linux now on an app image. I'm meaning to try it. But there's a decent background removal app now in OBS. It's the background removal Lite, not the background removal original by Roy Skillett. But there's a new one now called Lite that actually works much better and